Brewdog, the Darian scheme of the early 21st century. I won't go into great detail about what happened with Brewdog and the people involved, as there's loads of proper videos out there on that subject, and quite frankly, I don't want to be sued. But I will say this. It was a good idea that went horribly wrong very, very, very quickly. Brewdog were founded in 2007 in the very northeast of Scotland, and like many craft breweries, they were very small. They did things by hand, they sold locally, and they weren't alone in this. There's lots of Scottish breweries who did that at the time. But what made them stand out, though, was they understood marketing. They got social media probably before social media was even a thing. They played in gimmicks, the world's strongest beer. They were punks fighting against big breweries. You could buy into the company with their equity for punk scheme. They were incredibly right on. Staff could get days off for sick pets, that kind of thing. They were the liberal person's dream, fighting the horrible corporate world of the 1980s. But they were epitome of the saying, if you're not a liberal at 20, you have no heart, and if you're not a Tory at 40, you have no brain. Now, I actually disagree with that statement entirely, completely not my belief. But Brewdog fell into that. They became, from being incredibly right on, to the very thing they were fighting against. They were corporate. There were stories of toxic work culture. They were all about profit and money. Once interesting and amazing beers became bland and fizzy. And the old Scottish trait of stretching beyond your means happened. They had a global empire of breweries and bars everywhere, but they just couldn't fund it. They couldn't survive. And eventually, just over about a month ago, they were sold for absolute pennies. The sad thing is, staff are the ones who are hurt by this. In Edinburgh, Waverley, which is where I am at the moment, one of the few Brewdogs left, by the way, and the bar person here serving was brilliant. They were dealing with drunks, there was American tourists, there was me, there was people asking for train times, why would you know that? It's staff that make pubs, and although Brewdog became a shambles in every sense, the staff at Edinburgh Waverley, even to this day, were absolutely brilliant, doing their best, knowing that the company they worked for had basically fallen apart around their ears, and nothing to do with them. So that's Brewdog, a strange story of a Scottish giant that made an absolute mess of things. I mean, no wonder they fell apart. Who wants a pint glass that shape? It's ridiculous.